How are we, team? Matt here from the PT Profit Leverage and Lifestyle Show. We're going to be talking about ads today. So, disclaimer: this is for people who are brand new to running ads, more specifically Meta ads. If you want more advanced stuff, this is not the episode for you. This is more basic stuff. Okay. So, the reason why I'm running this training is because, for one, most of the time, face-to-face personal trainers do not need to run ads. It's the online trainers that need to run ads because they're competing against millions of other online PTs. So, I'm going to show you the bare basics of what you need to consider when you are running paid ads. So, we'll get into the training in just a second, but if you do like the podcast episodes, make sure you send me a message, let us know what you think. Tag me on Instagram or Facebook if you are listening to them. I'd love to know what your biggest takeaways are. So let's get stuck into the training. So firstly, let's go through why paid ads beat organic. And keyword there, or key thing to understand there, is eventually it will. You do not, or I personally think you do not want to do paid ads before having an organic strategy. The reason being is because paid ads essentially only gives you more attention. If your organic stuff is not doing well, then you're just going to waste money. A lot of the time, people will do ads just for the hell of it, thinking they're going to get more people to buy. But in reality, if the content is crap, then it's not going to do anything. You're just going to waste money, and people will think paid ads don't work, which is a complete lie. They do work if you know what to do. So, if you don't know how to do organic marketing, go back and watch my other podcast episodes, and you'll see how easy it is to get leads on social media, and then how to get clients on social media as well. Um, so this is what paid ads can essentially give you: predictable leads, predictable income, instead of waiting for people to message you organically or waiting to have more conversations organically. It gives you more scalability, which then gives you more control of your business and more control of your income and more control of your growth. Okay. So that's what we're going to go through today. So there's a couple of things we'll go through. We're going to go through the Meta Ad Machine framework, which is a 6-step framework on how to use Meta ads. So I call this the Meta Ads Machine. Now, again, this is super basic stuff. The first thing we're going to go through is the irresistible offer builder, the 3-part ad formula, the lead flow funnel, the laser targeter, the ROI dashboard, and the follow-up fix. So it's 6 things that we're going to go through today. The first one we're going to go through is the irresistible offer builder. Now, you guys will see ads all the time, and as you get more experience, you'll do different types of ads. But to start with, we're just going to keep it super, super simple. But the truth is, Meta won't fix a boring offer. So make it exciting. Make it something that your ideal clients actually want. And the other side thing as well is you need to understand what your clients want, what your ideal clients are looking for. If it's a specific problem that you're wanting to solve, you need to call it out. You need to have something so juicy or so irresistible, the ideal client thinks, I need this right now, and I need to put my details in here to get this irresistible offer. So just a couple of examples. Now these are, again, super, super basic. Let's just say an offer type could be, you want to lose 5 kilos in 6 weeks. Specific outcome is fat loss. Timeline is 6 weeks. The risk reversal or the incentive could be, hey, we're going to help you lose 5 kilos in 6 weeks, or we coach you for free, or you get your money back. Another example, the offer type is Busy Mums 14-day kickstart. Kickstart into what? Specific outcome could be more energy, more confidence. Specific timeline, 14 days. The risk reversal for this one could be it's free. It's a free 14-day kickstart. Okay. Now, as you get more experience with ads, you'll know anything that's free will attract people that don't want to pay anything. So there's pros and cons to everything, of course. If you want more volume, then you obviously say it's free. If you want more qualified leads, make it harder for them to get started with you, and you'll get more quality. And obviously, don't mention the price, or even put the price on the ad if you want more quality leads. So that's just an example of what you could do for an irresistible offer. Super basic right now. If you need help making an offer, let me know. Otherwise, you could literally get that done in a few minutes with AI. The next one, the three-part ad formula. There's three things you got to do. There's the grabbing the attention, which is the hook. You need to build trust, which is the story, and then you need an action, which is a call to action. That's the three-part ad formula. So in short, the hook is to grab someone's attention. So it could be sick of training hard and still not seeing results. Sick of being in a calorie deficit and never getting or never losing weight. Sick of going to the gym all the time and never getting stronger. Okay, you want something to grab their attention. The story is something that's going to relate to them. We help busy mums drop 5 kilos in 6 weeks without crazy diets. You might bring up a story of some of your clients that have had a similar experience. You might bring up a story on yourself, for example. You might have your own story about, hey, I used to be training 6 days a week and never getting results. What I actually found was if I was being more specific with my training, I could just train 3 days a week and get even better results. Click here to learn more on how to do it yourself. Click here to be part of our 14-day kickstart to achieve the same result. Okay, so you got the hook, grabbing people's attention. You got the story, which builds the trust. Hey, I've experienced this type of stuff before, or my clients experienced this type of stuff before. And then the call to action. If you want to solve this problem as well, click the link below to schedule a call. Click the link below to watch a free training. That's all you got to do. That's all ads is. It's not rocket science to start with. It can be very complicated, but this is as simple as it gets. Now, let's go through the lead flow funnel. Now, a lot of people think they need a website or landing pages or any of that type of stuff. You do not need a website. You don't even need a landing page to run ads. All you need, and Meta's making it super, super easy these days. They're trying to keep everyone in Facebook and Instagram. So they do lead forms. Lead form is basically where it opens a form on the app and people can put in their name, number, and email to get contacted or to get the download, to get whatever. That is how you get leads. Now, as I said before, there's a couple of different options you can do if you want more volume. If you want more volume, you have a very simple generic lead form, which is pretty much just asking for their name, number, and email. If you want more quality, you ask pre-qualifying questions. Meaning, for me, are you a personal trainer? If you're wanting to help mums, are you a mum? What? If it's for fat loss, do you actually have a weight loss goal or a fat loss goal? It'll eliminate people that are not qualified to work with you so you don't waste your time contacting them. Okay. At the end of the lead form, you're going to have an option to give them a call to action to go to the next step, which is more than likely to book a phone call with you or some type of contact with you. That is where you'll have a link to your calendar. So you can use a software like Calendly, Schedule Once, any of those appointment setting softwares you put at the end of the lead form. So if they want to really get started with you, they can book in a call straight away. Otherwise, you can obviously get the lead come through and you can give them a call manually. Okay, this is super basic stuff. Now, the targeting your ads. Sorry, targeting your ideal client. If you're an online trainer, super, super easy. You could pretty much just target anyone in Australia. I wouldn't do overseas right now. A little bit more complicated. I would just keep it to Australia. Now, obviously, if you're targeting a specific area, you need to put in the specific suburb that you want to target. And then you also need to determine what distance. Sorry about that, team. I just had my mum at the door, actually. Shout out to mum. Now, if you were doing like an in-person gym, for example, you want to put in the specific suburb and how much distance you want to target in that suburb. So, for example, you might only want to target within 5Ks of that suburb or 10Ks of that suburb if you want to be hyper specific. But obviously, it's a limited audience as well. So you want to try and broaden that audience where possible. That's why online PTs, they get a significantly lower cost per lead because there's so many people. There's like, 20 million people in Australia. Whereas if you're targeting a specific suburb, there might be, I don't know, 50,000, 10,000 people as an example. Obviously, you've got the age and gender. You can do a specific age group. Maybe you focus on people over 40 Maybe you only work with females. Maybe you only work with males. You need to take that into consideration. And the other one is interests. If you're working with a very specific niche, you can target very specific interests. Okay. Now, to start with, I would actually leave it to be quite broad because you're going to allow Meta to figure out what or who the type of people that resonate with your ad. It's very, very good software that they use to get you leads. So you want to kind of leave it a little bit more broad when you first start doing paid ads. Okay, now let's talk about the metrics that you want to look at when doing paid ads. So you'll see things like CTR, CPL, cost per booked call, cost per client. CTR is click-through rate. Now, you want the click-through rate percentage, not the overall clicks. Clicks essentially mean anyway that the people tap on the ad. CTR is click-through rate, which means they actually open the ad, not so much just click on the image or something like that. Now, you want to try and get that around 1% or more. So 1% of people actually click through your ad. Okay. CPL is cost per lead, which is how much it costs you to get someone's details. Now, for an online trainer, some of our clients, for example, get them between $5 to $10. You'd be pretty happy if you're getting them under $15 per lead. If you're a face-to-face trainer looking at a specific location, it's going to be a bit higher than that. So I would expect probably double, to be honest. Cost per booked call. Now, this is how much it costs per appointment that you get. So that's going to be based on obviously your individual stats. My suggestion is anything under $50 is a good result for cost per booked call. Cost per client, under $100 is what you're looking for. But in reality, realistically, let's just say, for example, it costs $1,000 to work with you for 12 weeks. $1,000 for 12 weeks. Even if it costs you $500 to get that client, it's still worth it for you. You're still going to make an extra $500, okay? So just because I'm saying, look, it's ideal to get the cost per client as $100, that might not be realistic for you. But if you're more of a high ticket trainer, for example, or not even so much a high ticket trainer, but if you think about it, if it costs you $200 for that client and costs you $100, it's still a win, technically. You're still making money. But obviously you want to reduce that over time as you get better with ads. Okay? But in reality, like if your program's 5K and it costs you $4,000 to get that client, still technically a win, but yeah, probably not ideal long term. You're spending a lot of money to get that client. So just keep that in mind when I'm telling you these types of numbers. Now, the last one is the follow-up fix. People aren't always going to be ready to buy from you straight away. One thing I've said in the past about my podcast, or in my podcast, sorry, is 50% of people that inquire will never buy. 50%, especially for ads, sometimes higher for ads. You'll have 10 to 15% of people that are ready to buy within the next couple of weeks, and you'll have 35% that'll buy in the next 12 months. So you need to follow up. People aren't just going to buy instantly, okay? So what you ideally want, you want some type of automated message that gets sent to them as soon as they inquire. Because a lot of the time with ads, the people who are first to message them get the sale. Because people just want someone to solve their problem. As soon as someone offers to solve their problem, they're happy to go with them. Then what you want to do, you want to get notified yourself when a lead comes in. So to get this type of stuff sorted, you need a CRM software. So we've got our own CRM. If you want to use ours, just let us know. But there's other ones like Go High Level. Zapier is also a good one that you can use, where you can actually get a notification when someone inquires from your ads. So you want to get like a text message. Then you want to call them within 1 to 2 minutes of receiving that text message where possible. So you're not always going to be able to do this, but for me personally, like I've got my phone all the time, right? And so does everyone else. So if you can call them within 1 to 2 minutes, you're going to be at least able to have a quick conversation with them. And then if they are a good fit, you book them in for a proper conversation. So it should only be a 1 to 2 minute conversation, pre-qualify them, then book them in for a half-hour consult, 45-minute consult, whatever your sales process is. Then obviously then obviously you want to convert them, of course. But if they don't convert, you need to keep following up until they actually say, look, I'm not really keen to go ahead, or I'm not interested. You don't give up straight away, especially when you're paying money to get leads. Okay. So many people will pay money, but they'll never follow up with their leads. It's ridiculous. So you need to follow up with your leads. I think there's some crazy stat where it's like, you know, on average, people will actually make a purchasing decision with like 7 or 8 follow-ups or something. Like it's crazy to think these days that people are going to buy straight away. That did happen previously, not anymore. People are bombarded with all these types of offers and whatnot. And guess what happens when they inquire about your ad? They're going to get bombarded with other ads very similar to yours. So you better be fast when reaching out to them. And you better, do a good job of qualifying them, booking them in, converting them, because otherwise someone else will get that client. So that's basically that essentially is the basics of um, running ads. Now, I'm not going to show you what that looks like. I might do a live demonstration later on in terms of how to actually run paid ads, but that's what you've got to consider when you are running ads. So firstly, organic stuff must be on point, or at least you must be doing organic to start with. Um, you need to create your irresistible offer. You need to do the 3 frameworks of the ad, so the hook, the story, and the call to action. Then you've got to think about who you're going to target, which you should already know your ideal client by now. If you don't, just let us know and I can help you out with that. So you get your targeting. Then you're going to look for the actual metrics that you want to do. And then you got the lead form and then the follow-up. So I know that was relatively basic today, but I think that would be a very good insight for a lot of people who, want to start online and then want to start doing paid ads. Again, face-to-face trainers should not need to do paid ads. It's online trainers that'll most likely need to do paid ads. So this is for you guys. If you need help doing this, I'm more than happy to have a conversation with you to point you in the right direction. No sales or anything like that. Keep your credit card at home. But if you want some tailored advice or tailored guidance on paid advertising, let me know. I'm very much interested in learning more about paid ads as well. So I'm spending a lot of money on learning this stuff to be able to help you guys as well. So hit me up in the DMs, Instagram preferably, if not Facebook. And I look forward to seeing you soon. And until next time, I'll see you in the next episode. Bye, Felicia.